All right, family. We black. We black again. It's the Truth Hour with General Sarasum Seti. Kick back. Get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. That's right, family. Ring the alarm, KingSeti.com. We got 20% off at this time. Save before you shop. Go look at the very beautiful catalog lineup of product that we got. We know you're going to like and love. We got everything from the classic and Jurassic, DVD lectures, t-shirts and hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry for the family, exquisite for the family. We got the holistic tonics and remedies. We even got home decor, accessories for every room in the house, living room, dining room, kitchen, bathroom. Check us out, 20% off at this time. Save before you shop. That's right, GeneralSeti.com. Pull the fire alarm. SETI University. Over 900 video presentations for you, family, on African history, heritage, spirituality, nation building, uh, mental warfare, all the things you need to establish a mighty civilization. You see, we got the video catalogs and libraries. We got the Black Woman is God, the God Deception, the Creatures from the Caucasus. What else we got? We got so many. When Egypt ruled the earth, we got so many video catalogs and like a cult. We got that in the house also. So check us out. Thank me later. You're gonna say, wow. I'm glad this brother hooked me up with this link. I'm gonna give him a shout out. Thank me later. Just go over there and check it out. Make sure you get on over there to my Patreon too, because we keep it popping on Patreon. BPC making noise. We never calm. We understand what I'm saying? We acting a fool for African liberation. You see what I'm saying? We rowdy for African liberation. You see what I'm saying? So, we got some exquisite live streams that we got on Patreon. I just did Hanuman, the Monkey King, and the evidence of human hybrids in prehistoric India. You better get on over there and check that one out. You know that one fire. You see, it is what it is, and it's some. You be warned that we take it up a level. You see what I'm saying? You want to go up a level? Go on over there to my Patreon. Go up a level or two. You see, when you want to go all the way, you just got to have it raw, and raw is the law. Then you get GeneralSeti.com. Patreon is the lecture hall. GeneralSeti.com is the mega library where you go and do your research. Then when you're ready to get the lecture, you ready for the lecture hall, you come on over there to Patreon. Both of them is fire. Believe that. Okay, make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels. King Seti, General Seti, Sarasun Seti. Rock that notification bell. Get a video a thumbs up. Like it because you love it. Share it with your family and friends. And comment. Just don't say nothing stupid. Don't do that. Because we will. Got moderators in there too. We will ban your ass. Boop. And then you miss out. You still can watch. You just can't say shit. You can't join in. You see, why do that? We want you to be able to, and you ain't got to agree. Just disagree with respect. You understand? That's how we grow. We ain't like everybody else. You understand what I'm saying? I want you to. You understand what I'm saying? Just disagree with respect. That's all. Disagree. We'll put you up on the screen, and I won't embarrass you or nothing like that. We'll have a talk. You understand what I'm saying? If we can't come to a conclusion before we get off here, we'll just talk about it. We'll say we'll put it on hold, and we'll talk about it in the near future. How about that? All right. Who has the oldest books on the planet? Who has the oldest books on the planet? Why am I saying this? You see, because this is where, like I say, a lot of people are talking disrespectful about Africa and ancient Egypt. And what we have to understand, number one, what Egypt is. You see, what people don't explain, you see, is that Egypt is the hub of all of Africa. Okay? Just like when you go to mega cities today. You see, you get people from you go New York. You get people coming from all over the world that gather in New York, whether to go to school. You understand what I'm saying? To live, and so you got so many varieties and of peoples and ethnic cultures and this, that, and the third. And so when you're talking about Africa, Egypt is the hub, or one of the hubs, major hubs, in ancient Africa, where Africans came from all over the continent. See, you see, to, just to get education, and you see what I'm saying, to, deal in the higher, that's just how it is. We love all of Africa, but there's, there are great metropolises in Africa, whether it's east and west, and that's where most people gather, when they ready to deal on the higher level. Okay, if they want to chill, they could chill. That don't mean they less intelligent or anything. You see, they go out in the more rural areas. But when you come into West Africa, you got the greater cities, Guinea, you got Timbuktu, Gayo. You see what I'm saying? And other great cities over there in West Africa. You come into the east, area, you got Luxor, Wasset, you got Memphis, you got Aswan down in the south view. So you got a lot of metropolis. So Egypt is a hub of all of Africa. And so all of Africa gathered in Egypt over 3,000 years, you see, and benefited from high technology that all of Africa had, you see, in contributing to that technology. You see, so whether you in North Africa, South Africa, West Africa, East Africa, that is your history. Okay? And so you see Africans studying all over Africa in ancient Egyptian society, in civilization today. You see, just as Africans in America are studying, you got Africans in the Caribbean that is studying. You got Africans in South America that are studying in ancient Egypt, because we understand that it is a hub, you see, with technology so advanced like that. And so, like I say, just like when you get, especially if you got a technology of your own, you're going to take it where it can pop. You say, okay, let me head up to Egypt. Let me see if somebody want to help me mass produce this, and so on and so forth. So this is what, Egypt was. So I don't want people to, think that this is just, they say, why do we look to Egypt? Because it is a hub of all of Africa. You can't look to no one people. All of Africa was in the Nile Valley. Why wouldn't they be? Just like when you come to America, everybody and their motherfucking mama trying to get over here to get to one of the major cities, whether it's New York, whether it's Chicago, whether it's LA, whether it's Atlanta, whether it's Miami, whatever it is, they trying to get over here and get in one of these metropolitan area, metropolis, what they call them. It just jumped out my you see, jumped out my consciousness. You see what I'm saying? And so this is what Egypt was. And so now, who has the oldest books on the planet? You see, because this will show you, you see, as far as advancing technology, because you cannot advance no technology without books. And then also that's going to tell you who got the most extensive language on the planet. You see? Now we just went over that the Olmecs had the oldest written language in the Americas. The Olmecs. You see, the Olmecs. We're gonna stay with some things. Now let me come down here on some things. Now, to understand this, now I've already shown number one. Let me show it again, just so people can see. When you start talking about language, you see there's no society that ever existed that in the ancient world that was more literate than ancient Egypt, where they wrote on everything. They wrote on every damn thing. I don't care what it was. It was statues, whether it was papyrus. We went over this yesterday when I showed, when you start talking about the Bible and all of that. where they take the words of Jesus and then they put them in red, and you understand, and then this is what a form of writing where you got the answer, you got the question, you got the answer, you got the question from man, you got the answer in red from the divine. You see what I'm saying? And so this was a technology that was taken from ancient Egypt. Okay. Now, when we start, let's get back to let's talking about institution such as schools. You see, in universities. You see, and when we start talking about universities and schools, Egypt, because in order to construct temples, you can look behind me and you see, even in the tombs, they got just books and books and books. Even in the tombs, they got books and books. Even they left books for the dead. You understand what I'm saying? So even though you pass on, you can read you a good book down there in the tomb. You understand what I'm saying? That's how illiterate and how many books that the Africans wrote. Okay, and so when you talking about, in order to be able to scribe on all those tombs, on all those temples, on all those papyrus, you had to have multitudes of scribes and scholars in the ancient world. That's the only way you could do it, because there wasn't no printing press back then. And so you for sure had to have damn near 99% of your society was literate, able to read and write. First society on the planet that could do that. You see? And so when you start talking about what came out of Egypt, the same basic setup. When you start talking about, number one, professors. You see, in order to have mass literacy, you got to have multitudes of professors. You can't have no one or two professors. They want to talk about Galileo. Fuck Galileo. What the fuck? Who is Galileo? Or in one cat. He can't teach no mass amount. You need more. You need a goddamn 100,000 goddamn Galileos to have a damn university. So when you hear people, they usually call out one name. Okay, one name. So that man's is his inventions didn't go far beyond the immediate motherfuckers that was around him. Okay? The immediate motherfuckers, in order to have mass institution or mass literacy, you have to have mass production of books. You cannot have no one fucking book. And so when I hear people talking about this is the oldest Bible, all I'm gonna ask them, was it mass produced? Okay, if it wasn't mass produced, what the fuck do that mean to me? This could be a fraud. Because if it was mass produced, then you got peoples that can verify on a mass level that this information actually touched the consciousness of the people. If it's just one book, you can't prove that this book had any effect on the mass consciousness of the majority of the people at the time you say it was written, and it cannot be verified that it even existed at that time if it's only one book and nobody ever seen the fucking book. So you got to have mass production of literature. And so when you start talking about how was Christians, they were not no goddamn Christian like what you think a Christian is today until the mass production of the Bible, because they could not read it. They did not have access to it. You see what I'm saying? The only people that had access to what you want to call quote unquote Bible, it was the hierarchy, the elite at the top. The twos and fews of the Catholic Church or the church, Protestant church, that had, and they couldn't even read and write. You see, only a few of them was able to read and write. And most of their scribes went either to Africa or to Asia to learn how to scribe. You see, and they brought it back. You understand what I'm saying? But they kept it for the elite. So 99% of the damn populace was ignorant until the invention of the printing press. You see? And so again, that's why I'm saying that Europeans and most other people, matter of fact, all non-European peoples were technically illiterate until the modern times. Period. Show us the goddamn books and show us what you wrote them on. Okay? Because I said again, paper come from papyrus. page come from papyrus. If you was writing books, what the fuck was you writing it on? Because they ain't writing on it no more. They ain't writing on no more. When the world looked at the most highly advanced technology, they saw that it was paper, and that's what they still using today. So don't confuse the facts. You see what I'm saying? Don't confuse the fact. When you're talking about in 2020, the National Center of Education Statistics counted 189,000, almost 90,000 professors. Okay, you got almost 163,000, well, more 162,000 associate professors. You got 166,000 assistant professors. You got 96,000 instructors. You got 44,000 lecturers and 164,000 other full-time faculty in the United States alone. You see, this is talking about, professors and other of university college level. You see what I'm saying? That's where you see now. I'm showing you what institution it is. And this is what Egypt brought to the world. This was the first society in the world that had multitudes of professors in multitudes of subjects. When you go to a university or a college, they'll give you a catalog of subjects, and you pick your class based on your curriculum. You pick, and so Egypt was the first society that had university with multitudes of instructors, with multitudes of subjects. Where you could go in there, you can learn spirituality, you can learn astronomy, you can learn mathematics, you can learn writing, you can learn religion, you can relearn government, law, masonry. You can learn how to construct ships and boats. You see all of that. How to, even carving statues, all form of that. You had to go to school to learn to do that. And so you see, when you got a highly technological society like ancient Egypt, then you had even machinery to move the blocks. You see, you had to have metallurgy. You had to know how to make tools and so on and so forth, and everything that is weaponry. You see what I'm saying? All of this you had to go to the universities of Egypt to know how to do that. And so this was the first nation in the ancient world that we can prove existed like a modern nation. Not no Samaria, not no fucking Greece, not no Rome. Rome may have tried, but you understand what I'm saying? They don't have no evidence of too many books they damn self. They got a few here and there, but they wasn't no mass literate society, not on the level of ancient Egypt. Not on the level of ancient Egypt. They was trying to, kind of get it moving, but they didn't last long enough. And then you got the Byzantine, which they stole scholars from ancient Egypt to jumpstart they shit over there in Constantinople, but really on a realistical understanding that Europe just got goddamn literate in the 1800s. They was just starting to get literate in the 1800s. You see, and so you had, even over in China, you understand what, but there's no evidence of no mass education even in China. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, they had some scribes over there, but it's no evidence that they had mass, because even into the damn late 1900s, they had a bunch of goddamn farmers over there. They didn't have no goddamn scholars over there talking about, you know what I'm saying, no high mathematics. So they just got to, you get a lot of these civilizations that are stretching. You understand their resume. You see, when you talk about students, okay, you're talking about it's over 17 million students. You got to have universities. You cannot. And so if you got university, you got faculty, you got all them professors, you got multitudes of professors that's teaching multitudes of subjects. How they gonna teach it if they ain't got no books? So it's still gonna go back to the book. You see what I'm saying? It's still gonna go back to the book. You understand what I'm saying? It's still gonna go back to the alphabet that came out of Africa. It's still gonna go back to the number system. that came out of Africa. Nowhere else. Okay? Nowhere else was developing on that level. So you see, you got 17 million students. Now, what should come out of, in order to have that, you got to have universities. You got to have somewhere to go. And so the temples was the universities in ancient Egypt. Those were, so you got, it say now together, include, we talking about K-12 public and private school, plus adult education, career technical school. You got over 4 million teachers in the United States. You see what I'm saying? 4 million. And you talk about homeschooling, you probably got more than that. You see what I'm saying? You got more than that. But that just show you got multitudes of teachers. You see, that's providing education. That's literacy. And so this is what you see today came up out of ancient Egypt. Nowhere else. Okay? Making that clear. How many four-year public or four-year universities are there in the United States? They say it's about 5,300 institutions in the U.S. 1,626 is public colleges, 1,687 private nonprofit schools, 985 for-profit schools. You see, these schools are categorized into groups such as 2-year schools, community college, county colleges, 4-year colleges, and universities. So you got access to go to universities, colleges all over the United States, wherever you at. You got access. So you got to have school. That's institution. How can you have that without a number system, without dictionaries, without subject books? That means that people have been gathering that knowledge for a long time. They don't have to, start all over. It's once the wisdom is gathered, it's recorded. It's recorded. That's what the paper was so, it was so important to advance society to where it is today. Without the paper, how you go, just imagine writing lyrics. Some motherfuckers could freestyle. Some motherfuckers had to write their shit. Imagine if you was an MC or you was writing song and you ain't had no damn paper. You see, you know what I'm saying? If you had no way to record, you be having some bomb ass shit. Like, motherfucker, first thing you looking for is some paper and a pen. Let me write that shit down. That's hot. That's a hit. You might hum it to yourself, but you want to write that shit down real. Oh shit, that's a hit. Let me get that down. You know what I'm saying? Or, if you got a goddamn a recorder, there's other, instruments today, but it's still not going to fuck with, paper. You see, you got to write it down. You need to erase and shit, and you know what I'm saying, and correct yourself. And that's another thing, with the pencil and thing that you can erase and start over. You understand what I'm saying? You can't do that in stone. You see, you can't do that in stone. And so, we know that paper came before stone. You see what I'm saying? You can't, if you fuck up in stone, you got to go get a whole nother stone. You can't erase on no damn stone. So that's why you had to have a paper blueprint looking right at you. So when you carve it in, you know exactly what you carving. You can't go up there guessing on what the fuck you gonna carve in the stone. You got to have it already on a blueprint. You see? You got to already have it on a blueprint. So in order to have the institution of society that you have today, you got to have multitudes. Wait a minute, let me run it down to you. You got to have the book, the paper. You got to have a pen. You got to have the ink. You see? But you can have a couple of, got a couple of words here, but that shit gonna be in your head. You see, you ain't gonna really gather until you can start to write. You see, when you start to bring them thoughts and collect them thoughts, and then you start to collect a group of highly sophisticated ideas. You start gathering it, and then you get the rough drafting, and then you start creating literature that's potent because you've been thinking and you've been recording. You're not losing the thoughts. You see, so you get the paper, the pen, the ink, the alphabet, the number system, and with that, in the scientific method, you see, of collecting the information, experimentation, collecting the thoughts over a period of time of recording, you start to come up with dictionaries, you start to come up with encyclopedias in certain subjects, subject books where you teaching in class. You see all these professors of different subjects, they got to have subject books, particular to the subject that they teaching. So you got multitudes of classes and subjects in a university, and Egypt is the first place where you have the modern system of education. Okay? And that allowed the religions to take off, because now they got literature that they can put it. When you see the Jehovah Witnesses and shit, you see what I'm saying? They knock on your door. What they do? They put literature in your hand. They put literature in your hand. See, they can lead their thoughts with you. You see what I'm saying? That's how powerful it is. They can lead their thoughts with you, and they can, they can have a quick conversation. Yes, can I lead this with you? Yeah, and you can read it later. And so the collection of their thoughts and what they're trying to say is right there in the book. So even if you don't listen right at that moment, if you pick the book up and read it later, then you could get the message that they're trying to get across to you. You see? And so when you look at now the ultimate outcome of having multitudes first of teachers, multitudes of subjects, multitudes of students, multitudes of universities. You see multitudes. Why we say because we saying mass literacy. We're talking about where the majority of the society is educated. Okay? We're talking about the majority of the society is educated. And so the outcome of that, if you got masses that are literate in various subjects, you're going to have books where they start, even if they're not subject, your own personal books on every subject. And that's what is stored in libraries. Okay, when you talk about Harvard Library, this right here is a list of the largest research libraries on the planet. Okay, so Harvard got 19 million volumes. 2-3 motherfuckers didn't do that. You had even if a motherfucker wrote 3 apiece, 4 apiece, goddamn, you're gonna have millions of motherfuckers' names on books in that library. You see what I'm saying? That show you got mass literacy. That's the only way you can have that many volumes in one institution. And then you go to the University of Michigan Library, they got 16 million. You go to Yale University, they got 15 million. University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign University, you got 15 million. Columbia University, you got 15 million. University of California, Los Angeles Library, 14 million. See, that's when you know you got mass literacy. So when you see writing all over Egypt, you see writing over every temple, you see writing over every tomb, you see writing over every pyramid, plus you got millions of scrolls. You got writing over all the statues. You got writing over all the jewelry. You see what I'm saying? You got writing on everything. That means you got when you got mass production of literacy like that, you have to have mass institution, because it ain't no 2 or 3 motherfuckers writing them hieroglyphs over all them damn temples and tombs. You got thousands of them. So you got to have thousands of scribes, and then they're broken down where you got some, like I said, that are Masonic scribes. That means they carve in the stone. You understand what I'm saying? Imagine how long it took and that's where the Olmecs came from. That's where the Olmecs came from, and we'll deal with that. You see, that's where they came and got their information from the universe. They left with it. They didn't come and get it. They left with it. Okay? And so when you start talking about, and when we talk about the top majors, now I know this is going to be hard for you to see, so I'm going to try to, this is what I'm talking about when I say multitudes of subjects. You see, you got computer science, business administration, mechanical engineering, accounting, finance, economics, information technology, electrical engineering, business, computer engineering, business management, psychology, industrial engineering, civil engineering, criminal justice, commerce, electronics, communication, biology. See, this is what I mean. You got to have multitudes of subjects. If you in a goddamn agricultural society or some goddamn you shepherds and shit, and and all you had to do is hunting and gathering and shit, you're not gonna have no multitudes of sciences and this, that, and the third. So I'm asking you, motherfuckers, you sitting out here running your mouth talking about what Egypt is and what Egypt ain't, what Africa is and what Africa ain't. If you take away the goddamn technology that is being used today, you understand, that came out of Egypt and Africa, goddamn it, you would be in a fucking forest somewhere, goddamn grunting and shit with your goddamn knuckles dragging the damn ground. What the fuck? You wouldn't even be in automobiles. You wouldn't even be in fucking automobiles because the goddamn automobile evolved from the chariot. The fuck is y'all talking about? We got to hit hard, man. Ain't nobody playing no games with you fools. You see? Only a fool. You understand what I'm saying? And the knowledge that we use can be easily verifiable by anyone that go and see it for themselves. That's why my teacher, Dr. B and Dr. Clark, they say, go see it for yourself. Because when you see it for yourself, you got primary reference. You see? You got primary reference. That means when you read a book, you can judge it based on what you saw. Man, no, that ain't what I saw. You see, but if you never see it for yourself, you have to have faith. You see, in the one that you're reading. Now, it can be a good thing if the scholars are world renowned in your own culture. If they're revered by other peoples that's highly intelligent, that don't necessarily mean they right. But I would roll with that before I just, take some obscure goddamn group. You understand what I'm saying? That, a cult group or this, that, and the third. If you see it's multitudes of people that are involved in the movement, and they seem to be logical and they're using scientific method, they're using their mind, don't necessarily mean that they got to be right. But that would be more of an authentic way of doing some research. You understand? Especially if they're going to see it themselves, but it still does not trump you going to see it for yourself. Then that way you got primary reference where you could judge any goddamn information based on how you interpret what you saw. You see what I'm saying? And so a lot of people out there saying that Americans or African scholars all over the world are taking European. We don't need no goddamn pyramid cracker to verify that the pyramids in Egypt is the greatest civilization on the planet. Fool. Anybody in that goddamn right mind can go to the damn ancient Egypt and go anywhere else. I say, goddamn it, go all over the world. Go to Egypt last. Goddamn it, go anywhere you want to go. Take your time. Goddamn it, go any and every make a list. Make a fucking list, and you go and make Egypt last. And when you get to Egypt, you're going to say, goddamn it, this is where it began. This is where it started. You don't need nobody else's interpretation to come to that understanding. Period. Okay? And you can tell that where we at today is based off of the science and technology that came out of ancient Egypt. Nowhere else. Sick of you niggas. And then, like I say, if you do not have no respect, I tell you what, I'm going to make a list and I'm going to stay on this fucking list. If you don't respect Egypt, I'll tell you what, start deleting out your fucking life. All the sciences and arts and all the pleasures and luxuries that you are enjoying today that come up out of ancient Egypt. Your ass would be out there in the woods somewhere, grunting and groaning. You understand what I'm saying? Eating berries and shit, juniper roots and shit. What the hell is you talking about, fool? You was a fool. And anybody that fought, and I know it's a lot of fools out there. I know it's a lot of fools. We ain't, yeah, and it's good. We gather together. That way we don't have to look for you. There they go. You understand what I'm saying? It's like that motherfucker on Peanuts and shit. Whatever, Charlie Brown. That motherfucker had that damn what was it? A blanket. And that motherfucker had flies and shit and all that and shit coming off that motherfucker. You can see him coming. Like, there they go. There they go. I said it. We're gonna move on to the last, and we ain't stopping. We ain't stopping, family. We're gonna stay on these. And so again, you multitudes of subjects, multitudes of scholars, professors, teachers. You see universities. You see, and finally, the outcome. I showed you the subject. The outcome of that would be the libraries. You see, where you could go into these libraries and you find millions of books. You see, millions of books. Where them books at? And so again, that's the research centers. But I had even major public libraries. Is this it? This it right here. The major public libraries. You got New York, over 25 million goddamn volumes or collections. So that could mean, books, it could mean DVDs and whatever it is. It could be film. You see, it could be film. It could be a whole lot of things. You see? And so you got 25 million in New York, public library. Cincinnati and Hamilton County, you got 11 million. Boston Public Library, you got 8 million. How do you get that many volumes unless you got mass amount of illiterate individuals? In the modern society, only until the printing press do you get mass literacy. But not only in Egypt, it was mass literacy even in West Africa under Timbuktu, where you find the two greats, after ancient Egypt. Then you had the Library of Timbuktu, where you could go into Timbuktu today and they still got scrolls. You can go almost to, each family had collected, math books and history books and all of that. You understand? Going back, I don't know if it's into the 1200s and early 1300s and so on and so forth. And so here again, you see where it was an honor to have knowledge in books. Where else at in the world have you ever heard of people that love knowledge and love books like that? You see what I'm saying? Where else? So when you talk about the two great library systems in the world of great lore, and we ain't talking about no damn Library of Alexandria. You understand what I'm saying? That was just a fortress where they done gathered all the scrolls of ancient Egypt that they could get their hands on. And even though they didn't have no understanding of none of it, and that's why they set it on fire. People always talking about when the Africans wasn't giving them the information, they say, well, goddamn it, since you don't want to give us the information, you won't have the information. Okay, that's what it really boiled down to. You see what I'm saying? And so they set it on fire. So the two great universities, including Nubia, because Nubia was mass literate also. So not just Egypt, but also Nubia had mass literacy. Okay, books where no other people on the planet had literacy. They did not have books until the technology from ancient Egypt showed up into their society. Now, if y'all want to go book for book, y'all want to go scroll for scroll, you want to go tomb for tomb, you want to go pyramid for pyramid, you want to go statue for statue, you want to go whatever you want to do. I'll lock and load, goddammit, and I'll bust and I'll keep busting, goddammit, and you gonna run out, nigga, in the first 2 seconds. You understand? That's all you gonna have. And I'm gonna steady be busting. You understand what I'm saying? I won't run out. I won't run out. So don't come here with that nonsense. You see what I'm saying? Y'all nigga living in the smoking mirrors. Y'all living in smoking mirrors. But when you come back into reality, because I'm going to end this and I'm going to move on to the next video, you living in the modern society. You're not living in, most of you niggas is living in the modern society, enjoying the inventions from ancient Egypt. You are refuting ancient Egypt with the technology from ancient Egypt. When motherfuckers say, man, I'm going to bring the references. And what the fuck is they written on? I got this book. Well, what the fuck you gonna bring to refute what? Motherfucker, how you think you got the book? In the game over. Game over, nigga. Game over. Game over. Soon as they say, I say, what is it written on? Oh, it's a book. Game over, nigga. Game over. Don't even say nothing else because that show you where you at. Game over. It's on the book. Game over. All right. Here we go, family. Let's move on to the next one. We're going to deal with the architecture, the downtown. We're going to show and prove again. Very powerful because I know how family is. Everybody love their downtown and understand that, you know, we like tall skyscrapers and this, that, and the third. And even dealing with high technology that is spread today as far as high technology of giant buildings and, you know, skyscrapers, how that science is passed down today. So you can see how it's passed down in the ancient world because that's an elitist group. That shit, when you start talking about architects that's building all this shit down here, that's an elitist group. For real. It ain't a whole lot of motherfuckers. You understand? It's an elitist group. And you better know that. You see, you have to be on the in crowd. You understand what I'm saying? To get a hold of that technology. And it's just like military technology. That's why when you go and see somebody with a skyscraper in a nation, that don't mean they built it. See, so those who got the knowledge are building all over the world, even in nations you don't know that they building in, but a very small group of people are building all them skyscrapers. You just ain't gonna fall into the knowledge of how to build no goddamn skyscraper. That's nigga over 100 fucking sciences and shit into one, you know, construction. You understand what I'm saying? And you don't even get access to one, and it take 100. Okay? So we be right, Black family, and we're going to keep this shit moving in high technology of African people. All right, family. Black power.